All right, guys. Dave Chaffee, Ermes Gasparini, one of the biggest match on the East vs West card. Number 5, of course, happening on 19th of November, 2022. Only a couple of weeks away. Dave Chaffee and Ermes Gasparini is a very interesting match because it is somewhat the qualifying match to become the number 1 contender to the overall number 1 rank in the world. We're talking about Levan Saginashvili, who sits atop of the mountain very dominantly. He sits atop of the mountain, but there is always a fight going on for who is the person to take him on next. Of course, there are other names out there that we will know are in consideration, people like Jerry Carteret, but the way things have gone, it is Dave Chaffee and Ermes Gasparini who will fight for that opportunity to take on the great Georgian Hulk in Levan. So this match itself, it's a very interesting match because these guys bring together a unique set of tools. Now, Ermes Gasparini, we have seen him on the rise quite steeply over the last couple of years. His transformation into a super heavyweight arm wrestler have been quite significant. And he still brings with him a lot of the skill sets and a lot of the attributes that he had when he was in the lighter weight division. He moves very sharply. He has a very refined top roll technique. And you have to give him credit that he is a pure top roller. He's a pure A-game weapon style. And what I mean by that is he is all in. He's all in on attacking with that top roll. Now, Dave Chaffee, known as one of the strongest side pressure pullers in arm wrestling. A very stiff, flat-wristed style. He doesn't like to get deep into a hook. He doesn't like to get over-pronated. He likes to keep it central and just rev those engines and go sideways. Now, his wrist has been historically almost impenetrable against top rollers in the strap. We, of course, saw him defeat Vitaly Laletin at King of the Table in an absolute war where that wrist was defeated, but we discovered that Dave Chaffee has a flop press in the later rounds. Now, I remember asking Dave Chaffee after King of the Table if he was confident that he could hit that flop press straight off the go, and he certainly said no. He said he needed to put some bullets into his opponent's arm first and get the fatigue levels somewhat established before he could hit that. And that, for me, is what really lends itself towards where my prediction will go. I think this match will go down to the wire. I think early rounds, we're going to see it into the straps, and we're going to see Dave Chaffee have enough in the hand and wrist to just put that side pressure down and get the pin. I think that it's unlikely that Ermes Gasparini loses his wrist. I think Ermes Gasparini will maintain a defensive posture through those early rounds and yet still be pinned. I think as Dave is pinning in those early rounds, we're going to see his wrist start to crack. But there'll still be sufficient side pressure for him to get the job done in the early rounds. Now, as the match progresses, I can anticipate that Ermes Gasparini and his well and truly targeted attack into the hand and wrist of Dave Chaffee will become successful, and the wrist will crack back on Dave. Now, at this point in time, I expect the bicep to be starting to be fatigued on Ermes Gasparini, but there will be sufficient side pressure from the Italian to get those victories in rounds 3 and 4. I think from there is where it gets, in particular, very interesting. Round 5, after all the chips have been scattered, so to speak, Dave's wrist is blown back and Ermes Gasparini's bicep is starting to significantly fatigue. This is where we get the grandstand finish. The grandstand finish being Dave Chaffee flop pressing. Now, when Dave Chaffee flop presses against a bicep that is already somewhat fatigued on Ermes Gasparini, how does that match go? Who wins that round? Will Dave have that ability to close it out? The one thing that he did have that against Vitaly Laletin, but there is a significant difference between Vitaly Laletin and Ermes Gasparini, and that is the length of that whole arm. As we know, Vitaly is one of the tallest competitors in the professional arm wrestling scene. And subsequently, his bicep is able to be exposed more so. Ermes Gasparini has a much more compact nature and is you'd almost call him a short top roller. He can top roll from quite that low position because he has such immense back pressure. His bicep brachialis, very formidable. And that is going to be a difficult task to flop press. It also gives him greater ability to go on the attack or the counter-attack when Dave comes forward with that wrist back. I think this is going to be a brutal match. I think Ermes Gasparini and Dave Chaffee are destined to be in round 5 with a flop press attack from Dave Chaffee, and a defense and counterattack from Ermes Gasparini. Where it goes, honestly, anyone's game. Round 5, though, is my prediction. We're going to see it there in an absolute bloodbath in that final moment. And could be, to be honest, anyone. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think is going to happen in this match. Round 5 bloodbath is where I see it.